Hello everyone. My name is Matsuo. I'm the owner of the Japanese cuisine restaurant Kashiwaya in Senriyama, Osaka. So today I'm going to try a simple dish with some eggplants which are perfect for this summer season. The dish is called steamed eggplants with a sticky meat sauce, and you can easily make it at home. Please try this recipe out as it has simple ingredients and steps. First, for the ingredients. I have 3 eggplants. For the meat sauce, I have a mixture of ground beef and pork. If you want, you can just use ground pork or ground beef, or you can even use ground chicken, but either way you can still make a tasty dish. As long as it's ground meat, you can use any kind. So today I've chopped up ginger here since I'm using a mixture of ground beef and pork. For the savory meat sauce, instead of using dashi or Japanese stock, I only want to use Enoki Mushrooms, which will add an umami flavor to the sauce. For the seasoning I have dark soy sauce, mirin or a sweet rice cooking wine, sugar, sake or a Japanese rice wine, and a slurry mixture of starch and water. So let's start cooking. First, the eggplants. Today I'm going to peel the skin before steaming them. You can, however, use them as is without peeling the skin. But I'm going to peel it today so that the dish will have a nice color from the eggplants. Using a vegetable peeler like this. You can easily peel the skin off. Let me soak it in some water. Alright, I finished peeling all the eggplants. Well, I said steamed eggplants earlier. Today, instead of using a steamer, I'm going to use a skillet to steam them. And I'm going to put them in the skillet as is. So let's do this. Put the eggplants directly into the skillet like this. Add some water, let's say a little bit more than a cup for 3 eggplants. Put the lid on like this and adjust the heat when the water starts boiling. The eggplants are now being cooked in the boiling water, so let's just keep it like this. They should be nicely steamed when almost all of the water has evaporated. Now, let's think about these enoki mushrooms that I mentioned earlier. You're going to finely chop them because they're going to be mixed in with the meat. And you chop from the cap side. When enoki mushrooms are cooked, a very tasty umami flavor comes out from them. Like when you make simmered food with enoki mushrooms, it becomes very tasty. So today, since I'm not using dashi and only using water, I'm going to put the enoki mushrooms into the meat sauce to make it super delicious. Let's finely chop the bottom of the stem like this, since it likes to stick together. Next, I'm going to make the sticky meat sauce. Today I'm using a mixture of ground beef and pork. If you're going to use ground chicken, you don't need to put ginger in it. I'm adding the ginger since some people feel uncomfortable with the smell of the beef. This is sake and the water. First, put the meat into a bowl. And here, I'm adding the sake. Alright. By tenderizing the ground meat with water, you can prevent it from clumping while cooking, and it will turn out nicely. Today, I'm putting the soy sauce directly in here. And the mirin. And also the sugar directly onto the meat. And here comes the ginger. This is just one small piece. let's cook the sauce. You can use a pot, but a skillet is also good enough. Put all of it into the pan. Let's wait a little bit until it starts boiling. Let's put the slurry aside. The eggplants. Now the water is boiling. With the glass lid you can see inside well. Adjust the heat after the water boils. If the heat is too high, the hot water might splash outside of the pot, so please be sure to adjust the heat, but make sure to keep the water boiling. In the meantime, the meat sauce is starting to boil. Going to skim off the fat from the surface. Please make sure to skim off the fat that rises to the surface after the sauce starts boiling. I think this is enough. I'm going to add the chopped enoki mushrooms now. Next, I'm going to make the sauce thick with the slurry I made earlier, as it's being cooked. Please keep in mind that you must lower the heat when adding the slurry. You can also remove the skillet from the heat, reduce the heat, and then add the slurry. When the sauce is too hot, the slurry mixture will clump easily. So I'm going to add it to the sauce while it isn't boiling. Alright. Turn up the heat and let the slurry thoroughly cook. It looks very good now. Our sticky meat sauce is finished. Let's look at the eggplants. Oh, they look nice. Yes, I think they are thoroughly steamed. So now I'm going to put everything together. For the condiments, I have green onions and Japanese ginger, which I'm going to chop now. You need to wash the Japanese ginger and cut it in half. And finely slice them from the top end. Next, I'm going to dish up the just finished sticky meat sauce. Please be careful since it's hot. Ooh, they sure are fluffy and well steamed. I'm cutting them into 6 pieces today. Please be careful since it's still hot. Next, I'm going to cut these in half. Let's put these on the sauce. And garnish the dish with the Japanese ginger and green onions on top. Good! We now have a complete dish with steamed eggplants topped with a sticky meat sauce.